Hi faculty, your PAWS course has been cloned and it's time to verify that it's been cloned and to update your course content to reflect you as the instructor and your materials. Now I'm going to use Business 1305 Introduction to Business in my example, but this can be used as a general guide for other classes as well. So I like to use the Chrome browser. I'm going to open that up and I just happen to be on the Southwest main page, and you may know, a lot of your students know, to click pause, but I want to tell you something else. A very reliable way to get to pause is to click up here in the web address area, elearn.southwest.tn.edu, and this is going to take you directly to the login page for PAWS. Now you probably know you can click the PAWS login. You have to type a little bit more because you have to put your entire email address, or you can simply click the administrative login, which is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to log in now. So I'm in PAWS and I'm at the main PAWS page. Lots of information here, but you're going to look for the waffle. Some people call this the course selector, but you'll commonly hear it referred to as the waffle because it looks like a waffle. And when you click on the waffle, you will see all kinds of courses. I've been teaching a long time, so I have lots of courses. To simplify things, I'm going to go to the advanced search. An easy way to see the courses that are available to you for this semester is under the Advanced Course Search. Set the semester to whatever semester is of interest, and you'll see all the different semesters. Fall 2020 is our current time, and when you display that, you should see all of your courses. Now you want to double check that. For example, this morning, that was not true. All my courses did not display. So you want to double check that. That's first and foremost. Then you want to kind of look across and make sure that the course starting date and the course ending date are what you think they should be. Now, in the case of dual enrollment classes, this might be set to our full fall semester, but of course you know that those weeks might be different for you. If as long as it doesn't stop too short, okay, that's really the key here. One of the things I notice is that this particular course is a winter semester course or a winter term course, and so you'll notice the dates are a little different, but that's fine. Okay, I am going to click on this particular Intro to Business course so that I can go into it. And I want to start just looking around at information that I need to change. Since Ashley is the course developer, the course designer for Introduction to Business, it will probably reference her information, and I don't want Ashley to have to answer all the emails from my students. But that might be a good thing. No. Ashley does so much already. She's wonderful, but we're just going to kind of look through to make sure that, especially on this course homepage, that there, things that I look for things that I need to change. Okay, so right away I kind of see something. Ashley has done a great job of generalizing this introduction and also really pointing out to me that I need to update some information here. Now, in a previous video I showed you how to get your specific Connect access URL for this site, and it looks like I need to make sure I display that to the students here. Also, she says again, we use Connect for all assigned activities, all deadlines, so the first assignment is due, and she has that listed there. Now I need to edit this, obviously. I mean, this is just so great. She's got the help number, she's got all the information there. I need to make sure I edit that, and I need to go get my URL in order to do that. But I'm going to scroll down a little bit further, and let's tackle something a little easier. Course Instructor. And to edit, you just click on the little drop down arrow and click Edit. That is also true for this section. I would just click on the drop down box and edit. And I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pause this while I just fill this out real quick, but it really, I'm going to go ahead and just put, what the heck, I'll put that in there. I was going to pause so you didn't have to sit through this. I struggle with the email address, but I'm going to follow her format because you may or may not know, PAWS has a separate email system. And what the system does, and it confuses students, is within PAWS you can email people, and for the students it will forward the email out of PAWS to their Southwest email. They will try to reply to that email, and that will not work. So it does get a little confusing. So um, that's why I struggled with that decision. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give them my Southwest email. There it is. Now they know how to get in touch with me. I've got Ashley's phone number here. I think that's, or no, I'm just teasing. I think that's where I'm totally teasing. Um, it's great that there is a fax number. In my syllabus, I actually tell them that I prefer that they do not fax because I can't go to campus to get that. And so I'm going to remove that, because what I ask them to do is take a picture with their cell phone and email me that picture. So you can put your office phone in there as well. Um, for me, that goes to voicemail, so it's, and I can respond to that voicemail. That information for me is in the syllabus. Since we are in such a unusual semester, I think the office location in my situation is a little different, because I'm not going to be able to meet them at the office. So I'm going to say contact me as uh, described in the syllabus for an appointment as needed. Okay, so you can put that in there. And again, you want to explain to your students the best way for them to contact you. That's what this is about. After I make those changes, I am going to click on Update. If you are making changes during the active semester, you can check this box to say it's a major edit, and it'll send them a notification so that they'll know to look at it. Probably not necessary. I'm going to click Update. It's definitely not necessary now because there haven't been those changes. Now, it has taken me to a slightly different page. It's taken me to the announcements tool, and I can see when this was, scheduled to start displaying. I can change that, of course, if I need to, but I verify my information has been changed. If I want to return to the course main page up at the top, click the course link. Now I can review and I can make further changes. Now, I do need to update this with my specific Connect web address, right? So you remember how to get that. I'm going to pause the video and go get my course link. So I'm back, and I have my course website that I'm going to put in here. So I'm going to again go to Edit. And this is the content window. I can stretch this out, and I'm just going to simply select this and paste the link that I had said paste. Is it going to paste? Oh, okay. It looks like it's not understanding what I want it to do, which actually gives me a great opportunity to show you something. So I pressed the paste button, and it, for some strange reason, did not paste the text that I wanted it to. Instead, it seems to have converted this to a hyperlink, which was not at all my intention. So I guess I could just delete this and perhaps paste again. In fact, let me try that. Yeah, I deleted it, and I did a Control V on the keyboard, and so I pasted the link again. Now, um, everybody has different ways to do this, and so I'll show you perhaps a little advanced tip. It's just something that I do for my students. For me personally, when this is a hyperlink and the students click on it, it tends to open within a pause window. And the problem with that is that as they're working on an assignment, if pause times out and closes, sometimes it kind of messes up their connect. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this again, and I'm going to come up here to this hyperlink button. This gives me a little extra control. And if I scroll down, there's lots of things I can link here, but I'm going to find URL. And this is where I'm going to paste that exact same link. I do not mind if they see, I could put some kind of text here, like click to open connect or something, but I want it to be exactly the same, so I'm going to do that. And here's the trick to me. New window. I do not want connect to open inside of PAWS, and they have to work in some kind of little compressed area. I want this to actually open a new tab in their browser so that they can go over to that. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, I'm going to tell you one other uh, option, one other possibility. Um, what if when I put that in there, what if I don't want it to be a hyperlink at all? I guess perhaps one thing that I can do, I'm trying to do this through the menus, is to say that I just want a title and not put a URL. It doesn't like that. Okay, so here's kind of my, you could probably leave it like this, but what I am concerned, I get a little concerned that it will still be connected to PAWS, and that when PAWS times out that it will close their connect session. May not be a problem because we did say open it into a new window, but if you're a little advanced and you want to modify the HTML, that's what this button is down here. So this is optional, because you kind of have to look through the code here. And what I can see, and this is probably really tiny to you, is I can actually see the reference link uh, that makes this a hyperlink. And what I'm doing is I'm just deleting that part of the code. And the text will then, now again, this is kind of advanced. If you want to leave the hyperlink in there, I actually think you'll be okay. But that removed the hyperlink so that it was just text. What I encourage the students to do is to select this, copy and paste it, or to select it, right click, and it'll ask them if they want to open that in a new tab. I'll leave that up to you. And just to make sure that my students can click that link, I did a Control Z, I did an undo so that it's back to, let me just start. Okay, so let me start from the beginning because I have probably confused you here. Let me just, I'm going to do that hyperlink again. I'm going to go to URL. I'm going to paste my course website into the URL as well as into the title. I'm going to make sure new window is selected and click insert. And I'm going to leave that as a hyperlink. Now I notice that Ashley has made it really easy for me to find other things I need to change, which I appreciate so much. It says again, we will use Connect for all assigned activities. All deadlines for assigned activities can be found on the Connect website. The first assignment is due, and so you're going to ask, when is this due, right? Well, one thing that you may want to consider is exactly how you run your class. And while I'm doing this video, I'm not going to take the time to make every single update that I might make for my class. I just have now, and I want to be clear about this, I am not telling you to teach a different course. I do think these are college courses. I do think that we are providing our syllabus, our schedules, our content, and that there needs to be some consistency and continuity so that every student is not having a totally different experience, and that this is a 3 credit hour college level course, and so there does need to be consistency among the material. What I mean when I say that this might be a little bit different is that for me the first assignment is in PAWS, because here's my class schedule. And for me, I like to have a very easy attendance quiz that they take. It quite frankly simply asks them if they're attending the course, how they're doing. So I use this as a tiny assignment, a 5-point assignment that is in my syllabus, is very low points. I also have them do a discussion posting to introduce themselves, small points, 5 points. So these are some assignments that I'm going to have them do. So if I count these PAWS assignments, then their first assignment for me would be due Saturday, August 29th. But to keep things simplified and to follow the format that Ashley has done a super fantastic job of setting up. Notice that the first assignment is due Tuesday, September 1st at 11:55 p.m. for my class. So the first assignment is due, and I'm just going to type it in here, Tuesday, September, I'm sorry, I can't even remember what I said, September 1st, 11:55 p.m. Uh, at 11:55 p.m. So don't delay in getting started. But the point here is that you know how to modify. If for your class purposes you need to take attendance in a different way, or you're trying to check in with them and so you have some assignment, just make sure that you explain that so that nobody is lost and they understand. So I'll come back and, for example, explain to my students, hey, I need you to take this PAWS quiz, that kind of thing. But for now, I'm going to click on Update. Again, I'm back at the announcements page, and I can verify that everything is in there correctly. If I want to see how it's going to look on this page, this takes me to something else I want to show you. I want to make sure I see it in the way that the students see it. If you want to view your course in the way that a student sees it, go up to your name and click View as Banner Student. Now it is appearing as the students will see it, and I can just double check that, click my link, it opens Connect in a new browser window, and actually it looks like there's no remaining connection to PAWS. And so I think my earlier concerns were probably unfounded. I think we're okay. I'm going to go back to PAWS. And again, I'm looking at this in the student view. There's even my email address. And I should have pointed this out earlier, show all announcements. If there are other things that the students need to see, in this case there are not, they would click that in order to see them. Now, they cannot edit because this would be the student view, right? They could dismiss it, but they cannot edit it. I want to go back and view this as faculty. Here's my viewing as banner student, and you X out of it. So I'm going to X out of that. So I'm viewing this again as faculty, and I've updated the home page. Now there's also information under content. Think of content as where you provide chapter instructions, handouts that you might have, if you were in a traditional class. So I can look under content, and I see a section here, and it says course documents. And when I clicked on that over on this left-hand side, now I start to see all kinds of things, and I might want to go through and look at some of these things. I see a Getting Connect Setup document. Now I also see that there's an eyeball with a line through it, and that means that this is invisible to the students. So if you want to look at that, you can. I suspect that the reason that Ashley has that hidden from the students is because I see the PDF document here, and some students don't have PowerPoint and they won't be able to open this. So she has done a wonderful thing for us. She has configured this as a PDF so that the students can just click on it and view it. Okay, we'll do that in a minute, but I want to talk about things that we need to change. And I see a syllabus link, and that's great. This is exactly how an online course should be set up. But when I click on this syllabus link, I see that this is Ashley's syllabus. And so I'm going to refer all my students to Ashley. No, I'm not. I'm teasing. I love Ashley to death. So anyway, but you see the syllabus is here, and that is fantastic. And this would allow me to edit this link, not the syllabus, but the link. I do not need to link to Ashley's syllabus. I need to provide a link to my own syllabus. Now, couple things that you can do. You may have previously worked with me and received a copy of the syllabus. We have an online syllabus system that is available at deit.southwest.tn.edu. And I'm going to show you this quickly, I promise. You will need to log in to this system. I'm going to do that real quick. Now that I'm logged in, I can go to DE Concierge and come down here to Syllabus. A little bit slow, probably lots of activity today. And as I review these links, it says view a list of your existing syllabi, and that's what I want. I'm going to click that. And I'm going to find the link to my course syllabus that I have created. And I have a link to my personal, to my syllabus. And I'm going to right click, copy, and I'm going to come back over here to PAWS, and I'm going to modify this link. So I'm going to click on edit link, and I'm going to delete Ashley's syllabus link there, and I'm going to paste my link. Now you can, if you like, choose to view this as an external resource, and that would mean that it would open in another window, which is actually perfectly fine. There's no problem with that. If you keep it kind of trapped within PAWS, then PAWS can better give you information as to whether or not that student has read it, and it keeps them sequentially moving through the materials. So they're not in another tab, another browser window. They're not separated. They're going from item to item to item, from page to page to page within this content of PAWS. And so I'm going to leave that exactly how Ashley had it set up, which I think is great. So now I have my link updated. Now, let me address your concerns because you are panicked. You do not have a syllabus out here in this online syllabus system, and you don't want to set all that up. You have a paper syllabus and you just want to upload it. You can certainly do that. Here it says upload create, and you click on upload files. You can navigate to your computer, and you can either go through this, click this upload button and go to a folder on your computer, or if you already know where that folder is, I have a folder open right here, I could just I like to use PDF files, I could just go get a PDF, drag it to that location, click on add, and it will appear here in the link. Okay, so if you have a document you need to upload, that's perfectly fine. I do not need this one because I do have a link, so I'm going to click on that little drop down button and I'm going to click on delete. I can either just remove the link but still leave the file in PAWS. I don't need this, so I'm going to permanently delete it, and I'm good to go. Okay, so that's the getting started, and I need to make sure that I update that in whatever class I'm teaching so that the students are seeing my information. Now, I prepare for my students a class schedule, and I also prepare, I've got those documents already here, and I also prepare a Connect registration sheet that has the tech support number on it. It's just handouts that help them hopefully to feel more comfortable. I am going to go ahead and upload those because it's going to give me an opportunity to show you some more things. So my computer, and you saw those steps. Now, when I create those documents, I create them in as Word files. And so here's the schedule, but I also saved it as a PDF. So I'm going to drag both of those here. You need to be patient. Don't click add. If you click add, it will give you error messages and you'll get upset. Wait for it to finish uploading. When it's finished uploading and you see I have two documents, then I can click add. And there they are. Now, I only need the students to look at the PDF document, but what tends to happen to me is that I will be on campus or I will be someplace away from my laptop computer with these documents, and I'll need to make a change. And so I like to keep the Word document out here where it's readily available to me, but I don't need the students to see it. So a great way to handle that is to do what Ashley did here. She's got the PowerPoint out there in case something changes. She can readily update it. She just has it hidden from the students. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on this little drop down box and I'm going to choose Edit in Place. it does not open the Word document to edit. Edit in place gives you limited kind of quickie adjustments, including this eyeball, and I'm going to click on that eyeball and it tells me it's currently visible. So then I have to click again for hidden. Okay, so that's hidden. I'm going to do that one more time because I have some Connect handouts that again I created as Word documents. So here's my, for this particular section, my Connect registration pages, and I have saved it. I created it in Word, but I saved it as a PDF. I'm going to upload both of those. Once they're uploaded, then I click on Add. And once again, it's not necessary for the students to see the Word documents. So little arrow, edit in place, click the eyeball, click again to make invisible. Now I'm going to rearrange, kind of tidy up here just a little bit, because the documents that the students are not going to see, I'm just going to move them down here so that they're all together. So I put my mouse over these dots on the side, press and drag. So what I would expect the students to see is the syllabus, some information on getting Connect set up, and then their class schedule, and then they're going to see their Connect registration. That's a little out of order still, so I think what I will have them do is look at the syllabus, then look at the schedule, then I'm going to give them their Connect registration page. Now I'm going to do one more little thing because I am fancy. Okay, this is the link to my Connect, my class in Connect, and so I'm going to Control C to copy that, and I'm just going to try to make it easy for them here, and I'm going to go ahead and put the link to Connect right here in this Getting Started material. So where it says Upload Create, as I look through this, I mean, you can look, there are all kinds of things that you can do. I'm looking for the link. Is that under, don't make me look bad here. Create a link. I'm sorry. I just could not see it. Upload, create. Here's create a link. Connect website for BUSN 1305 section L06 only. Okay, and I'm going to Control V to paste that in. Now in this case I want this to open in a new tab in their browser, so I am going to check Open as an external resource. I'm going to click on Create. Click on Create. What's going on here? There it goes. Something was just slow for some reason. Let me go back. See, these are what they call breadcrumbs across the top, so I can go back. I can go all the way back to Table of Contents if I want. Remember, we started by clicking on Course Documents, and then we were in the Getting Started specifically. As long as I stay in Course Documents, I see everything in the course documents. But from within course documents, they're going to Syllabus, or I mean, Getting Started. Let me go ahead and click on that. They're going to see the syllabus, their course schedule, their registration information, some more details on getting Connect set up, and then way at the bottom it put the link, and I want that link, Connect website for that. I want to move that on up, and I'm actually going to put it right after the registration sheet, and in that way they'll have this PDF as an additional reference. I only say that I think it's fantastic to provide that PDF, but the menuing system when you register it is pretty straightforward, and the students, you know, you have your reading students who just really need those details, and then you have other students who are going to fly through it. You can give them a book and they're going to just fly through using the on-screen menus. So that tends to be most of mine, so I'm going to put that link out there so they can just go directly to that. Okay, now remember, if I want to see this the way the students see it, I can go up to the top, View as Banner Student. This is my home page. Remember, the things we were looking at were under Content. As I look through Content, um, again, I see the syllabus, and this is how this is how the students would see it. And see these dots right here? This means that these things have not been read yet. So I'm going to click on the syllabus. And now I can just double check that this actually is my syllabus, and it is. And when I say that this is an item within the PAWS content, you've got these forward and backwards arrows. Now I'm looking at the schedule, and this is another PDF. They can scroll through this. By the way, they can also download it. And for documents that I want them to reference frequently, I try to encourage that, but they don't have to, but there is a download button. Then I'm going to click the next button. And this is the, again, this is something that I created. It's a Word document. However you provide the information to your students. We are all unique in that way, and that's okay. Has to fit your style. And you see when I clicked next and it was an external resource, see how it took me out of PAWS and into a new browser window? Some things that you can do, and perhaps I'm going to do this, is actually change this so that it says open in a new browser window. They're not always aware. Maybe I should change the order of that. I'm going to play with that. I'm not going to waste your time as I do that. Okay, and then finally, remember there was the connect getting started. And so this is that initial information. Now, let me emphasize this. I explained it in the other video, but let me emphasize this. Because our class participates in this DEI program, their digital access to the book and to those Connect assignments was paid for when they enrolled in the course. So they do not need an access code. What they do have to have, and what is so critical, is the link to your course. If you leave the information in there from Ashley's course, for example, or if you're updating one of my courses, if you leave my information out there, then what will happen is they will create a login into my class, and I'll keep knocking them out because they're not enrolled in my class. So, very important that you have the correct links in here. Notice that as I went through this now, I have these nice check marks that let me know that I've completed those, that I've read those. And on the faculty side, you can see that students have done some of those things as well. So those are internal resources. The external ones, it's harder for PAWS to track. But anyway, that's fine. I'm going to go to chapter material. And I'm still in the student view, which is probably pretty good here because Ashley has done such a great job. She's gotten this broken down into folders, and each folder is a chapter. And within each one of those chapter folders, I have a checklist, I have chapter objectives, I have the reading assignment, and I have another folder that says assigned activities. And, oops, okay. And notice under assigned activities, the activities are in Connect, and that's what she was explaining on the course homepage. If we had taken time to read that, which the students will. So they know, in this case, go to Connect and complete your Chapter 1 Learn Smart assignment. Go to Connect and complete your Chapter 1 video assignment. So they can just simply move through this. This is a great reassurance. Now, what will start to happen is they will stop looking at PAWS. So in terms of emailing them, those are things that you want to email them about. I'd like to upload in the Test 1 folder some instructions just to remind them to be careful. You can do that. So there is a folder there, and you might want to email the students and say, listen, I have put some handouts for you there. So I'm going to, for example, exit out of this banner student mode. I'm going to return to content. I am going to scroll down to test 1. And I have to notice how I scroll down and then I have to scroll up. That's something you might have to explain to the students as well. And I'm going to pause for a minute as I retrieve that. Well, I just realized I forgot to update that document from before, so I will update that document and I'll upload these instructions into this location. I am so sorry. I'm glad I'm doing this with you because I'm realizing my mistakes. Anyway, one thing I would probably do though is because the students start to rely on working assignments only in Connect, it's important to continuously email them throughout the semester. That's a real important thing within online classes, is to keep them motivated and to let them know that you see their work. Okay, in terms of seeing their work, what I do is after the assignment is completed in Connect, I run a report of their grades, and I showed you how to do that in a separate video, and I manually enter those grades into Connect. The way that you do that is you're going to go to Assessment, and then you're going to go to Grades. Now, I actually have students in this particular course, so I don't want to show those student names. So I'm going to change out of this course for just a moment, and I'm going to go to the master copy of my course. And this is a totally different course, okay? But I can still show you grades from this. So I'm in a course that doesn't have necessarily any students, and I'm going to click on Assessment, and I'm going to go to Grades. Now this is kind of a demo student that I have in this course. And you will see them all listed here, up to 50 per page, and it's like a spreadsheet, and you can go across and you can view their grades, right? I like to look at this instead of in this view, which is the default view, Enter Grades. I like to look at this from the Manage Grades view. And these are things I commonly do in my course. Little bitty attendance quizzes at the beginning, and you can see they're 5 points. I make my introduction 5 points. So you'll want to look at this in the intro to business class, or into whatever class you're teaching, to see what these grades are. And let's say they've just finished their Chapter 1 Learn Smart. I would find that grade item. You can click on the drop-down box, and you can click on Enter Grades. Now, here are some best practices, some things that I do. When I have posted their grades, in this box that says Overall Feedback Visible to All, I type the words Grades Posted. In that way, the student knows when they see a 0, because by default a 0 will display, it does not mean that I gave them a 0. What happens is they finish the assignment in Connect. They have a week to finish the assignment. They finished it on day 1. They look and pause and they go, you did not post my grade. You gave me a 0. Why are you attacking me in this way? And of course, you just haven't even posted the grade. So when they see the text Grades Posted, then they'll know that you have actually recorded their grade. Now if they see a 0 and they made 100%, now they can yell at me and say, why did you do this, right? And I'll fix it. Another best practice is I email them and I say, I just posted your grades. Please go out and look at it, because you're going to type these grades in manually. And when you do that, you might make a mistake. Now, I know I'm a perfect person. I don't know if all of you are perfect people. If we can be the perfect club, but unfortunately, sometimes my perfect shine gets a little tarnished, and I might intend to type that they got 10 out of 10 points, but something happens and I type that they got 1 out of 10 points, or I type that they got 0 out of 10 points, or something, right? And so if I make a mistake, what I do is I ask the students to stop, to look at their grade. I give them a due date to look at their chapter grades, and then to notify me of any error. So notify me of an error in your grade, and I try to give them like a week to look at it, so that we're not at the end of the semester going back and saying, hey, I don't think my chapter 1 grade was right. I don't think my chapter 2 grade was right. I want to do this as we go. Let's stop. This is the paycheck. This is the payday. So I like them to look at this as we go. You would type in all those grades, and when you're finished, you click on Save, Save and Close. You may want to click Save as you progress through. Since this is a master copy of my course and I'm just doing this for demonstration, I'm going to click on Cancel. and I'm not going to save. Okay, so once again, we came to assessments. We clicked on grades. When you first arrive on the grades page, you are on the enter grades screen, which is like a spreadsheet. It's kind of cool because you can also export this to an Excel file. So that's very handy and straightforward, so I'll let you explore that on your own. If you want to look at it more vertically, then this way you can go through, find the grade that you're ready to record, and when you're ready, you click on that drop down box and enter grades. Okay, so hopefully very straightforward. You can enter grades also from that beginning screen. You would just here's CH1LS, which is Learn Smart, and again, drop down arrow, enter grades. Okay, so just like most software today, many ways to do the same thing. So I would type grades posted, and I would begin entering in grades. All right, one more thing. I mentioned emailing the students, and that is something that's very, very handy. And I like to send those emails, and you don't have to, but I like to send those emails through PAWS, remembering that PAWS will forward this email out to their Southwest email. Now, over time, you may also just want to use your Southwest email to communicate with instructors, because going to PAWS is something you have to remember to do so that you can check email. But under communication here, I have a lot of tools, and I encourage you to explore all these tools. I don't want the video to get too long, but under communication, you have Classlist, and Classlist is very cool. Under the class list, you will see anybody enrolled in your class. As the teacher, I am enrolled in my own class. This is my demo student. You'll find things like the library is automatically enrolled, and that's nice because the students can email. If they wanted to email the librarian, they would check the box next to the librarian, and they would click on email. And I'll show you something really unusual with this email. First of all, you'll notice there's nothing on the to line, and that is how PAWS works, and I think it's to protect privacy, and it's automatically filled in the librarian name. But it's not a Southwest email address. It's a UCourses, and that is a closed email system that is within PAWS, and it's designed to help stop spam from coming in and that kind of thing. But remember that for the students, it forwards it out to their Southwest email address. So you can see how the students would get a little confused on that. So you might have to explain that to the students a couple times. They'll say, I was trying to email you and it kept bouncing back. And it's because they're emailing to UCourses. Okay. I don't want to email the librarian, but I could. I can type in my message here. Notice there's a default subject line. You'll see that a lot. I'm going to close that. I don't want to email the librarian. If I want to email the teacher, I'm going to click on that, send my teacher an email. And again, to the UCourses, not to Southwest. But I will get it. I'll just have to log into PAWS to get that email. I can email other students, however many are in there. I just select them. If you want to email the class, you just click the check mark at the top. Before you do that, you may want to switch over. Notice that there's multiple tabs here to the Students tab. Notice that I no longer see the librarian. I also no longer see my own teacher email in that. This is just the students. So I could click to select all the students. If I had hundreds and hundreds of students in my class, I could select them all, click on email, and it would populate all of their email addresses in the BCC line. Okay, so that's so that you know. All right, I'll give you one other little tip. Let me pause for just a moment. I like to email my students also just through my regular Southwest email. It eliminates any of that confusion about sending emails through PAWS and they try to reply to the email and that kind of thing. So what you can do, a very quick kind of down and dirty method of emailing your class, is if you know your full class rubric, then you can use that as an email distribution list. So if I click on the to line, I can type BUSN, and you can even see some of the courses populating, hyphen, whatever your course number is, in my case 1305, hyphen, and in my case L06. Okay, and if I tab, if I tab, you can see that it recognized that as an email distribution list, and it will send it to everybody currently enrolled in the course. Who are those people? That's the down and dirty part. It does not identify them. If I click this plus sign, I do not get, if you expand the list, Outlook will replace the list with its members. Well, I guess it would, but it cannot do it. It will not show that. Now that is a safety net because email addresses actually can enter into FERPA territory, and so you have to be a little bit careful here. The problem you can run into with this is that if a student says I did not get the email, they may not have if they were not enrolled in the course at the time that you sent this. But it can be a very handy shortcut. For example, what I will do is leave this on the to line, and then on the BCC line, I might put in all their individual emails, which you can get through the My Southwest system. Okay, I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to reveal any student information. But this does work, and you should use it as it benefits you. Okay, just the course name up there. I tend to say something like grades posted, chapter 1 Learn Smart, video quiz, and homework. Okay, and then I will tell them, I'll say something like, hello, BUSN 1305 LO6 Introduction to Business Students, because it makes it really easy to search and find that later. Your grades were posted for, if I can type, posted for chapter 1. You get the idea, blah, 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 and I would explain that. Take that moment. Great job. I see you working hard. 90% of you completed the assignment. 8 out of 10 students made an A. 23 out of 25 students made an A. Whatever that happens to be, those words of encouragement. Please stop now and review your grade in PAWS. Your final grade in this course will be calculated using values in PAWS, not Connect. For this reason, it is very important that you verify that I recorded your grade accurately. I try very hard to be accurate. If I made a mistake, please reply to this email and let me know. I will be glad to correct any errors. So you get the idea, okay? Please verify your chapter 1 grade for accuracy by, okay, something to that effect. This is not, verbatim, but certainly you get the gist of it. Ask them to check that grade. What this is going to do, if their grades are neatly and nicely recorded into PAWS, is that PAWS is the course management system. It's the learning management system. And so it's kind of the official documentation. So if something happens and somebody complains 6 months from now, the chair can go in there, pull that up, see what that grade was. Also, at the end of the semester, remember I mentioned to you that you can export the grades from PAWS into an Excel spreadsheet. So if you know that all those grades are recorded accurately, you export them and you can use Excel to very quickly and easily calculate their grades. But in terms of sending an email, hopefully that information is helpful. Okay, so back to PAWS. We talked about content. Under communication, we talked about Classlist. I'll point out that you can also see the discussion board under here. You might want to look at that information. Under assessment, we talked about grades. This is just another way to get to discussions, and you'll see some other things, but by and large all of our assignments are in Connect. I encourage you though, look around, become comfortable with PAWS, become a master at it. But the thing that's very important is when you go back up here to the top, uh, let me actually go to the waffle and pick my, oh, how do we get to our courses? Do you remember? Now that oh, let me show you this. Now that I've gone to that course one time, do you see how it's listed up here near the top? And if I know I'm going to be in and out of that course a lot, what I'm going to go ahead and do is pin it to the top so that it stays up here in the courses that I frequently access. So I'm going to do that. Actually some of these I don't need to be in and out of my master quite as much anymore, so I'm going to unpin those so that they're not taking up valuable space at the top. But now I can quickly and easily return to that class just by clicking on it. Remember, as you navigate around, if you need to get back to this page, you come up here to the top. This is what I was telling you, and you click on that link. Most important thing, update this page with information specific to you so that your students are working in your class. Make sure you go into content, make sure you're updating that content information so that your students know how to register into your class and have any specific information they need for your class. Now, about those emails, your students might email you in PAWS, and so you'll need to check that email. Notice that I am in a class right now. I go into email by clicking on this envelope, which is up here all the time, even if I'm not in a class. I don't know why it says no items found, but I'm going to click on email. Now, all of this email should be related to my class, and I don't have any communication with my class, so it doesn't display anything. But the problem is it doesn't always connect student emails with the class, and it's filtering to show only class emails. That's a little trouble. You want to always make sure you remove that filter and go to all course offerings. That filter happens automatically when you are in a class and then you go to email. And see here you can see some examples, grades posted, and I'm telling them, that I did that I posted their grades, and so they have that information. Just so you kind of get a feel for that. This might be, I don't want to reveal any personal information, some encouragement. You need to notify me. Here's the due date, giving them, here's some next assignment dates, some important, now this was at the end of the semester, so, specific information there. But anyway, so you get the idea for that there. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close these connect windows. We talked about syllabus. Anyway, so you want to take off that filter. The filter does not apply if you are back at the main PAWS screen. So clicking PAWS takes me back to the PAWS homepage. If from there I go into into email, there will be no filter. I'll just automatically see all my emails. Okay. Now, one final note before we finish. And I say this final note because I kind of see it up here. You see this little bell with a dot on it, and this is a notification. And I hate this bell. Everybody else probably likes it. I can't stand it because it is a shortcut to the students that undoes that work that you did by saying that grades were posted and any detailed feedback. I shouldn't say hate is a strong word. Notice that here's the kind of information it tells me. I have assignments due if there are due dates in PAWS that it knows about. Otherwise, they'll need to go into Connect to see those assignment dates. It will say when you post a grade, it will notify the student that they have a grade. And sometimes they will see that you put you graded their discussion board assignment, and somebody's discussion board posting was not at the level that it needed to be at, and you explain in detail, students, you didn't, so and so, you had poor spelling, you had poor grammar, you didn't provide any citations, blah blah blah. They won't see all that detail that you provided because this will simply quickly show them the letter grade. So students like this. It is a quick way. It is a quick way for them to see the grade or to get little reminder prompts, but it is not as detailed as if they were to go into a class and the students can view their grades by clicking on assessment and grades. So that is also a way. And again, remember, anytime you want to say, how will the student see this? How do they view their grades? All you have to do, switch into student view, and then you see things the way they see them, and you can say assessment and grades, and they'll say, this is how they see it. Oh, let me tell you about dropped so you can warn your students. What PAWS is doing is PAWS is calculating their grade for them. It's calculating that grade on the fly. And in this particular course, I dropped their lowest score. What students will do is they will see this red dropped and they will not do the assignment because they will assume that that grade was dropped. It is not, I tell them to ignore that. I say, when you see that red dropped, please ignore that for now, because it doesn't matter until the end of the semester. What this is going to do is it's going to keep moving, because once they get a Chapter 1 test score that is hopefully not a 0, then it will no longer be the lowest score, and so it'll drop a different grade. Okay, and what this is designed to do in PAWS is to help them understand where they stand in the course so that they can see their overall course grade. Okay, it does in the meantime though. For example, I give them 5 points for introducing themselves. That's what this 5 is. They have not earned the points yet. I have not posted a grade yet. You can see that, you know, in this is a different class. In one of the classes I teach, I give them 10 points. I think in Intro to Business it's 20 points, right? So they'll see all these points that they can earn throughout the semester, and they'll see how many points they received on the assignment after you type it in there. But for now, they should ignore dropped. All right? I'm going to switch back. I'm going to X out of my student view, take me back to my faculty view. And I think that this is a really good start. Certainly if you have questions about how to do things as we continue, don't hesitate to reach out. We also have wonderful trainers in our distance education office, and they conduct training sessions all the time. And if you really just you know, I can tell you how to do something quickly. Ashley can tell you how to do something quickly to fix something to get you back up and running. But if you want a more structured, I need a hour-long class on how to do something, Distance Ed is great for that. They also can work with you one-on-one by appointment. So you got lots of resources and lots of support out there. We want you to be successful. I hope this helps. I appreciate your time, and you know, I just can conclude by saying we did it. We learned how to do it, and you're on your road, and you can review the video if you need help, or again, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much. Have a great semester.